You may be considering a voluntary project, but perhaps you are not completely sure this is the right way to spend the time of your gap year. Becoming a community volunteer on a gap year is a fantastic way to make a real difference, to develop in local communities and help improve lives of the people in need. There is a wide variety of community projects to choose from, which means you can easily find one that fits your abilities and interests. It might be a building project, a help in medical treatment, or working with less fortunate children. What all community projects have in common is that they are ultimately focused on transforming lives to a better one. Not only does it allow you to make a difference, being a volunteer of community projects also may help you experience your own personal growth, learn useful new skills, and gain a true sense of achievement when connecting to the local communities. Today, I'm going to talk about the benefits of taking on volunteering role. Along with that, something you should considering when you apply, so we will hopefully choose the best project or community projects for you. Firstly, what kind of community projects there are? There are a wide number of community projects that requires volunteer. I considered something that you were passionate and interested in, and where you can put your talents into use. Some projects include social work, where you can support people suffering from problems from drug addiction, mental illness, and neglect. Building projects, where you can find to help create more important facilities to the people in need, such as create the schools, community centers, nurse housings, and basics housing. Education, where you could teach a various of subjects to the children and the adults. Such a wide variety means that everywhere in the world you can find it. You can become a volunteer on community project and make a real difference. Second one, what type of community project you should volunteer in? You can only decide what is the most important thing to you. If you are into plants, animals, or environment, you are more suitable in a wildlife project. This is a great way to get hands-on experience on some amazing animals. Is to volunteer to work with wildlife, plus the feeling of making difference and doing something worthwhile. Many projects in the field of wildlife do not require you to have any special skills or training. However, you must be passionate to the animals, and you must be able to perform tasks that require intense physical labor and enjoy working outdoors. It is also ensure that you will show initiative and work both on your own if necessary as a part of a team. Dealing with animals, you often requires patience, trust, and dedication. If you are interested in a career path of social care, voluntary social work is a great way to support people in need and also gain a valuable experience. You can volunteer on social work as a social worker offers you the opportunity to provide essential help to the less fortunate children or adults, needy children, young people. Development project for social works allows volunteers to regularly engage in training, practices, and evaluating results over time. Your role also will be challenging, as you will work with people who have suffered abuse, violence, and exploitation. Routine activities can include conducting seminars, arranging and managing support resources, keeping accurate records, and more on key social topics. Other than that, volunteer building and agriculture projects are an important part of developing communities, contributing to the development of farms and agriculture education that are essential to basic survival, contributing to the construction of basic infrastructure such as house, school, community centers, and improving sanitation. This initiative is the perfect way to let less unfortunate to make a positive differences. Volunteering on a building projects will generally see you doing important physical labor, such as laying foundations, erecting walls, and other building, or digging trenches and more. Volunteering on a farming project will include supporting farmers, harvesting crops, and caring for livestock and whatever else is required. You will have to work hard at whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it will feel so satisfying, and at the end of your placement, you will leave a feeling that you have made a positive difference to life that needed it most. If you have a career path in your mind, it will be easier to choose what you want to do. For example, if you are studying in medicine, you may want to consider in a medical project. The third one is what kind of people you will work with. Volunteering to a new community project is the perfect way to add and meet like-minded individuals to your social circles. While volunteering, you may come across into contact with many new people, even those people you would not normally get to meet and spend time with. This is not only provides valuable exposures, but also help you to improve your social skill. The fourth one is, where should you volunteer on a community project? You can choose somewhere you feel a personal connection to, speak the language, or have cultural interest in. In developing nations, where there may be widespread poverty, poor access to education, and a lack of healthcare facilities. As a volunteer, it is in these places you can make your most precious contribution to the people in need. The type of contribution or placement you choose will probably depend on where you volunteer on community project, as different communities will have different types or ways to help with. The fifth one, what are the requirements or qualifications to be a volunteer? Before you join a community project, several volunteer projects will not require you to have any special skills or trainings. If any training is required, once you have arrived, it will be done on site. The nature of group project you have selected will depend on this, and always ensure that you pay full attention carefully so that you can start working and contributing to the community or the project as soon as possible. If you have entered a project focused on delivering counseling, medical treatment, you can work together with a trained professional. In the end, there are still many activities or programs you can do in your gap year after your SPM or STPM. Now that you know that what are your options to choose for your gap year, you can take the following steps to get involved. First, you must look over your interests, as which of the activities is most attractive to you. Then, do some research on the activities or the program you have choose. Make sure the activities or program you choose are available in the gap year time. Then start on on the activities that you can complete on your own first. You can check if there are similar activities that exist, or you can start your own program or activities.